Hello and welcome to a new video. In this video, we are going to discuss loops and we will start by this problem. So you put 100 into a bank account that earns 5% interest per year. How many years does it take for the account balance to be at least 120? So basically, you will start with 100 in your account, and on a yearly basis, your balance will increase by 5%. So after 1 year, it will be 105, and so on. So each year, you will take 5% of the current balance and you will add it to your balance. So how many years do you need to reach the target of 120? So let's see. We will start by initializing year to be 0. This is just a variable. The starting year 0, we will have a balance of 100. Now, on the first year, after 1 year, your interest will be 0.05 times 100, which is the balance times the interest rate. This will be 5. Now, the new balance will be just the old one, which is 100 plus the interest, which is 5. This is equal 105. Now, are we still below the target? Remember, the target is 120. We are now at 105. So yes, we are still below the target. So I need to go for another year. Now, at year 2, I will calculate interest again. Now it is 105 times 5%, which is 5.25. Add it to the old balance. Now my new balance is 110 a quarter. Now we are going to ask the same question. Are we still below the target? Are we still below 120? And the answer is yes. So I need to keep going for 1 more year. Now at year 3, I will calculate interest to be 5% of 110.25, the balance of the previous year. This is equal to 5.5. Add it to the balance. Now my balance is 115.7. Now again, I am still below the target. I am still below 120. I need to go for 1 more year. At year 4, my interest is now 5.7. And my new balance is 121.5. Now, is 121.5 below the target? The answer is no. So I need to basically stop. Now let's see how basically I will write this in Python. How would I solve such problem in Python? So let's move to Jupyter. So notice how I started with a variable year that was equal to 0. Okay, this is my starting point. At that year, my balance is just 100. Now, notice in the table that I repeated one operation, or I repeated basically 3 operations until I reached my target. I increment year by 1. So each time I add 1 to year, I calculate interest, and I add interest to balance. So let's do this. Basically, I repeated these 3 operations, increment year by 1. I will write it as year equal year plus 1. And I calculated interest, and that was by multiplying 0.05 times the balance. Then I updated the balance by simply adding interest to the old balance. So the new balance equal the old balance plus the interest. Now I kept doing these 3 steps while, or as long as, my balance is below 120. So as long as the balance is below 120, I will repeat these 3 steps. Now this compound statement, okay, is what is known as while loop. Okay, so basically a while loop is you have a body of statements where you will keep repeating, which are these 3 statements. You will keep repeating these statements as long as the condition up here is true. So as long as this is true, you will execute 1, 2, 3 statements. Once this condition is false, you will stop repeating the statement. You will basically exit the while loop. So let's go basically through what will happen in this case. Let's draw the memory. So I have my memory up here. And in the start of the program, I will create a variable here with value 0, a variable balance with value 100. Now, the first step to do in a while loop is to check the value of the condition. Now, balance is currently at 100. Is it below 120? The answer is true. So I will enter the body of the loop. We call this the body of the loop. So what do I do in the body of the loop? I have year equal year plus 1, which is basically take the old value of year, which is 0, add 1 to it. Now it is 1, store it in the same variable. So now what I'm having is year equal to 1. Next, I will calculate interest to be 5% of balance. Now balance currently is 100, so my interest is what? My interest is 5. Then I will calculate balance to be balance, the old value, which is 100, plus interest, which is 5. Now this is 105. 105 should be stored back inside the variable balance. So I will delete the old value of balance and store the new value, which is 105. Okay. Now I am done with the body of the loop. I should go back to the condition up here and check the value of the condition. Now, what is balance currently? It is 105. Is it still below 120? The answer is true. So I will enter the body of the loop again. What will I do? The same 3 steps. Add 1 to year. So year now will become 2. Calculate interest. Now the interest now is 5.25. And update balance. Now balance in this case will be 110.25. I will just take the old value 105 and basically store it inside the same variable again. So 110.25. Okay. Now I am done with the body of the loop. What should I do? I should go back to the condition up. Okay, so now the balance is 110.25. Is it still below 120? The answer is yes. The value of the condition is true. Now I need to enter the loop again and repeat the same 3 steps. Now again, I will have year to be equal 3. And I will have interest to be equal to 5.5. And I will have my balance now to be equal to approximately 115.7. Okay, now I am done with the body of the loop. What should I do? I should go back to the condition. Now balance is 115, still below 120, so the value of the condition is true. I need to re-enter the body of the loop and repeat the same steps. Year in this case will be 4. And interest will be again 5.7 approximately. And the new balance will be 121 point something. Now I am done with the body of the loop. Go back to the condition. Is balance below 120? Balance is 121. 121 is above 120, so the value of the condition is now false. If the value of the condition is false, you will exit the loop, which means basically you will stop the repetition. Okay, you will stop repeating the body of the loop. So now, what are the values I have for each variable? I have year equal 4, which is how many years it will take me to reach basically my target, which is 120. which is 120. The current balance after 4 years is 121, and the last interest I had is 5.7. So let's write this clearly in Python. Again, I will start by creating a variable year equal to 0 and a variable balance equal to the initial value of 100. Then I will basically do the following 3 operations: year equal to year plus 1, interest equal to 5% multiplied by the balance, and balance will be equal to the old balance plus the interest. Now I will keep repeating this statement as long as or while balance is below 120. Now I need to see the output at each iteration. Basically, iteration means each time I visit the body of the loop, I would like to see the value of the variables. So I will print here equal to %d and balance equal to %.2f, and I will print basically the value of year and the value of balance. Now, when I run this, I will see four messages or 4 prints. Each one is basically for each time I visited the body of the loop. So I started by year 1, balance is 105, year 2, balance is 110, until I reach year 4 with balance 121.55. Now, again, this is the while loop where the body of the loop will be repeated as long as the condition is true. This is the flowchart of the code we've just written. Basically, here we have the diamond shape, which, if you remember, represents a condition. So if balance is below target, if this is true, I will repeat, or I will do these 3 basically steps: increment here, calculate interest, add interest to balance. Now, notice how I am going back to the condition again after I finish the 3 steps, and I will check the condition value one more time. Is balance still below target? If true, increment here, calculate interest, add interest to balance. Now I will keep repeating these 3 steps until balance below target is false. If it's false, I will skip them. I will follow this arrow on the right, and I will continue the code. Okay. Now, the while loop is just another example of a compound statement. A compound statement, if you remember, consists of a header and a body or a statement block. Now, the header will end with a colon, and the statement block will basically be indented. So everything that is indented, everything that is pushed to the right, is part of the while loop. So everything that is indented will be repeated as long as the condition is true. So if I go back to my code up here and I push the print statement back, now the print statement is not indented, which means it's not part of the while loop. So it will be executed after we finish the while loop. So if I run this, I will just have one print statement for the last value of the variable here and the last value of the variable balance. Okay. Now, this example of while loop is what is known as event controlled. Basically, you don't know how many times you are going to repeat the body of the loop. We don't know this in advance. We have to keep executing the body of the code until a certain event occurred. In this case, my event is balance will reach target, will reach 120. So if this event if this event occurs, I will basically stop the loop. So this event control how many times I will keep repeating the body of the loop. Another example of while loop is what is known as count controlled. Basically, you will know in advance how many times you are going to repeat the body of the loop. because you know, for example, you need to repeat the loop 5 times. So you will set your code such that the body of the loop will be repeated 5 times. Let's see this example. What is the output of the code down here? Okay, so let's basically follow the execution of this code. I will start by creating a variable counter equal to 1. Then I have a loop, right? The first thing you do with a loop is check the value of the condition. So is counter below or equal 5? The answer is true, because counter is 1 is less than or equal 5, the value of the condition is true. So I will enter the body of the loop. Now, whenever I enter a body of a loop, I will draw a table. Now, my table will have here 2 columns, one for the variable counter and one for the value of the condition counter less than or equal 5. And I will create a space here. I will call it my output space. This is basically I will write the output of any print statement I have in my loop. So what is the first statement I have in my while loop? I have print counter. Now counter currently is 1, so I will just print 1. Next, I am incrementing counter by 1, so add 1 to the variable counter. Now counter was 1, add 1 to it, now it is 2. Now I am done with the body of the loop. I should go back to the condition. Is 2 less than or equal 5? The answer is yes, so the value of the condition is true. I will re-enter the loop again. The first statement is printing, print counter is 2, so I will put 2 in my output space. And I will increment counter again. Now counter is 3. I am done with the body of the loop. I should go back to the condition. 3 less than or equal 5, so the condition is true. I will enter the loop. The first statement is printing, print 3, then increment counter again. Now I should go back to the condition. 4 still less than or equal 5, so true. Enter the body and print 4, then increment counter. Now counter is 5. Now I should go back up to the condition, still true. So what do? I will print 5, then increment counter to 6. Now 6 will make the condition false, right? So 6 less than or equal 5. Is this true or false? It is false, so I will not enter the loop again. So notice how I will output, or I will print 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, which is exactly what will I get when I run the code. Now this is an example of count controlled loop. Basically, I know that I will start by 1 and I will stop at 5. And basically each time I will add 1 to my counter, which means I will repeat the body of the loop 5 times. Okay. Now let's ask the following question. What will happen when I flip these 2 statements? So let's cut this and put it down here. Now what will be the output in this case? Let's see. So I will do the same thing basically again. I will start with counter equal 1 and check the value of the condition. Is counter less than or equal 5? This is true, 1 is less than or equal 5. So I will enter the loop. I will have a table with 2 columns, counter and condition. And I will have my output space on the right here. Now, what do I get? I start the loop by incrementing counter. So counter will move from 1 to 2. Then I will print counter. So now I have 2 in my output space. Next, I will go up to the condition. 2 less than or equal 5, so true. Increment counter and print it. check the condition, 3 is less than or equal 5, increment counter, print it, check the condition, still true, increment counter, print it, and check the condition, which is still true. Then again, what do I do next? I will again increment counter. So I have 6. I will print 6. Then I will basically check the condition again, which is false this time. Now, one common mistake when someone sees this code is that once they reach 6, okay, so we are at this stage, okay, we reach 5, we print 5, then we check the condition. The condition is true. I will increment counter. Counter is 6, right? Now, whenever someone sees 6 here, they will immediately think this will make the condition false, so I should stop. Notice how you missed the order of operation. The loop will print the value of counter before making sure the condition is true or false. So I will reach 6 by adding 1 to counter, then I will print 6, then I will go up to the condition and check is the condition still true or false. In this case, it is false, so I will stop. However, I will have 6 in my output space. So when I run this code, what do I get? I get the values from 2 to 6. Okay, let's move on. So what do you think about this code here? N equal 1, while n is below 50, n equal 2 times n, print n. Now, how do you solve this? We will do it in the same manner. N equal 1, this is the initial value of n. Then I will check my condition. Is n below 50? The answer is yes, so the value of the condition is true. So I will enter the loop, which means I will draw my table. My table will have 2 columns, one for the value of n, one for the value of the condition. Now what do I get? Notice the order of steps here. I will double the value of n and I will print it. Okay, so this is my output space. The first step is double n. So n from 1 will become 2, then print it. So what do I get? I get 2 in my output space. Then I will check the condition. 2 below 50, so true. Repeat the same 2 steps. Double n and print it. Check the condition again, still true. Double n, then print it. Check the condition again, still true. Double it, print it. The condition is still true. Double again, print. The condition is still true. Now double again, print. Now the condition is false. 64 is not below 50, so I will stop the loop. Notice how when I run the code here, I get the value 248, 16, 32, 64. You can again flip these 2 statements and check what will be the result. Now let's see the next example. Now I have 2 variables in this case. I will start by I equals 0 and total equals 0. Then I will check the condition. Is total below 10? Yes, so the value is true. So I will enter the loop. Now my table will have 3 columns, one for I, one for total, one for the value of the condition. And down here I have my output space. So what is the first statement in the body of the loop? Increment I. So from 0 to become 1. Second statement is take the old value of total and add it to I. So 0 will be added to 1, total will become 1, then print I and total. So I will print 1 and 1. Then I should go back to the condition again, check the value of the condition. Total, which is 1, is below 10. This is true. I will repeat the body of the loop. I equal I plus 1. I will become 2 in this case. Take the old value of total, add it to I. Now 1 plus 2 is 3, store it in total, and print them. I will print 2 and 3. Check the value of the condition. Total, which is 3 currently, is below 10, so the condition is true. Add 1 to I, and add I to the previous value of total. Now this will make total equal 6. Print first, so I'll print 3 and 6. Check the value of the condition. 6 is below 10, so this is true. Add 1 to I, now I is 4. Add 4 and 6, now total is 10. Now, should I stop the loop because 10 will make the condition false? No, you should print first, then check the condition. So I will print 4 and 10. Then I will go up to the condition. Total, which is currently 10, below 10 is false. So I will stop the loop. So when I run this, I will get 1, 1, 2, 3, 3, 6, 4, 10, just as we wrote down here. Okay, now if you add equal sign here, what will happen? The last value or the last row we have, total is 10 below or equal 10. This is true. So what should you do? You should go for one more iteration. Increment I is 5, add it to 10. Now total is 15. Print them, 5 and 15. Then check the condition. 15 is not below or equal 10, so this is false. So you will stop. Okay. Let's go through this next example. What do you think about this problem? Again, you have I and total. I is 0, total is 0. Now check the value of the condition. Is total below 0? Remember, total is 0. 0 below 0. The answer is false. So the value of the while condition is false. So basically, you will not enter the body of the loop. You will not execute the body of the loop for any time. I will not even draw my table here. So what is the output? Nothing, because you will never execute the body of the loop. Okay. Let's see the next example. Now, this example asks you to basically write a program that reads multiple salaries from the user and calculates their average. Allow the user to enter as many values as they want until they input a negative number. So let's run the code, then I will go over it and explain it. If you run this and you entered 2, then 3, then 4, and you need to calculate the average of these salaries. The average should be 3, right? So you will enter negative number to stop reading. Read the prompt, enter a salary or negative value to finish. So I will enter a negative value to stop reading salaries. And this will terminate the program and prints me the average. Again, I will enter 2, 3, 4, and these are all my salaries. So I will enter -1 to stop, and I will have the average. Notice how if you enter -1 from the beginning, so basically you entered no salaries, the program will print no data was entered. So here a negative number like -1 is used to stop reading new values, right? So whenever you face a negative number, you will stop the repetition. In this case, a negative number represents what we call a sentinel value, which is just a value that will be used to indicate the stop of the loop. So let's go over the code and see basically how it is executed. Let's take the second example, which is you will enter -1 from the start. And let's see. So what do we have here? We have total equals 0. and we have count equals 0, and we have salary coming from the user. Now we agreed that the input in this case will start by -1, right? So salary will be -1. Now I have a while down here. What is the value of the condition? Salary is above or equal to 0. So the condition value is true or false. Salary is -1. -1 is not above 0. So this is false. So you will skip the body of the loop. I will skip everything here. What do? I go outside the loop and to the if statement. The if statement here is basically making sure count is above 0. What is count? Count is 0. So this is false. If it is false, you will go to the else branch and you will print no data was entered, which is exactly what happened when I basically entered -1 from the start. I have no data was entered printed. Now let's take the other example where the input will be 2, 3, 4, and then -1. So I will write the input on the left here. The input will start at 2, and let's follow the execution of the code. So I will start by total equals 0, count equals 0, input is 2, so the statement will store 2 inside salary. Now I have the condition of the while loop. What is the value of the condition? 2 is above 0, the value is true, so I will enter the body of the loop. Notice how in the body of the loop, I have 3 variables and a condition. So I will write total, count, salary, and condition. So what is total? Total is the previous value of total, which is 0, plus salary, which is 2. So total will be 2 in this case. What is count? The previous value of count, which is 0 plus 1. So count is 1. Now I have the statement again, salary equal float input, which will read the new value from the user. Assume the user will input 3. So salary in this case will be just 3. Now I am done with the body of the loop. I should go back up to the condition. Is salary above 0? Salary is currently 3. Is it above 0? True. So enter the body again. Total equal total plus salary, which means I will add 2 and 3, stored in total. Now total is 5. Add 1 to count. Now count is 2. And read a new value of salary. Assume the user now will input 4. So salary is 4. I'm done with the body of the loop. I should go back up to the condition. Is 4 above 0? True. Add total to salary. 5 plus 4, have 9. Add 1 to count. Count is 3. Read a new value from the user. This time the user will enter -1. So salary is -1. I should go back up to the condition. Is -1 above 0? False. So I will stop the loop. Now I will go to the if statement outside the loop. Is count above 0? True. So you will calculate average to be total divided by count. Total is 9 divided by count, which is 3. Now average will be 3, and you will print average salary is 3. So when I run this and I entered 2, 3, 4, -1, you get average salary is 3. Okay. That's it for this video, and I will see you on the next one. Thanks for watching.